At this time, we'd like to hear from Damon and Damon Watson, and just a couple of questions to help guide us. Where do laws unintentionally punish people long after their sentence is served? And what legal reform would most immediately reduce reentry failure?
So I'm going to stand. I think I'm working for some of us. It's going to sound like I'm bragging. It may be because I am, but I promise I'm building to something and I will answer the question. So I have a couple of Ivy League degrees. I graduated from Princeton with a bachelor's, and Harvard, I got a law degree. I started at NJ Reentry in 2020. I was part-time. My site director at the time was here, Tasha. And over the years, I've been promoted multiple times, and I now am the Senior Director of Legal Services. So I get to be the team captain. And along the way, I've managed to build a nice resume. I have some good accolades. I was Employee of the Month last year. This year, I was named the Nonprofit Professional of the Year Rising Star for 2025. I've also had a lot of really cool athletic accomplishments. I have 3 state championships in multisport. I've completed 5 Ironman events, 1 full Ironman last year. I'm building to something, Jim, I promise. I promise. And I am on Team USA, and I'm going to be going to the World Championships in September. And for 2026, thank you, I'm pretty proud of that. And for 2026, I was selected to be an ambassador for the USA Triathlon Foundation. Now, the reason that I spill all of that, and it is pretty cool, but the reason that I want you to know all of that is because despite all of that awesome crap that I have on my resume, if I were to leave this job, and for my coworkers and participants, this is purely hypothetical. I'm not going anywhere. But if I were to leave this job, finding another one would be exceedingly difficult for me. And I'm going to tell you why. Because those are the things that you see, but let me tell you that when you look at me, this is what you don't see. Black, true. Some of you knew, but you don't see it, right? Black, depressed, addicted, homeless, skid row, tense, felonies, 2 bids in California county jails. Those are the things that you don't see, but jobs, they see them. Even if you're in a ban-the-box state. Now, ban-the-box is utterly toothless, because here's what ban-the-box is. You are allowed to go to a job interview with a record, and they are not allowed to ask you about your record on the application or during the interview. But once they give you an offer, your record's fair game. And that's when they find out all that stuff about me. And I'll tell you, it happened. Before I found this place, it happened to be plenty. I was released from Los Angeles County Jail in 2017. I was there for 9 months. I was an inmate firefighter. I had an impeccable record in jail to the extent that you could have one. And I tried to get a bunch of jobs. I was living in transitional housing, taking buses to job interviews. I did all of the things that Jim mentioned in Los Angeles, which is rough. And I don't know what you know about LA County Jail, but you could die in there. I didn't, but you can. So I got a bunch of job offers, Home Depot, Target, some call center. All of those offers rescinded. Why? Because of my record. So what did I do? Recidivated. I had no choice. At least I thought I didn't. So I made a couple of really bad decisions, but then I got my life together. You know, I saw a sign and somebody called me, come live with me in New York, work on my city council campaign. So I did that. But then in 2019, after I'd gotten in shape, I'd fixed my life, I found somebody that believed in me enough to give me a job. They came for me. They came for me all the way from San Bernardino, California. And I was getting gas and they surrounded me. This was a night, like, I don't know how many of you have ever thought about what it would be like to be in a living version of your own nightmare. That's what this was. And I'm standing there about to put the pump in my car. Damon Watson, turn around. There were 5 deep, right? Plainclothes officers. For me, this square. Like, I look like a dorky accountant from New York. And these guys were all on their guns. We have a warrant for your arrest from San Bernardino, California. And I'm like, oh my God, seriously? So I'm in the interrogation room and they're telling me, well, the prosecutor wants to give you 15 years. I'm like, oh my God, right? Crazy. All of that because I couldn't get a job. It's ridiculous. So fortunately for me, when I went back to California, and I'm sitting in San Bernardino County Jail. See, I have 2 Ivy League degrees, but the deal with the devil that I made is I had to do 10 months in county jail for each one, right? So I did that, but I'm sitting in jail, and I'm reading the newspaper, and I see an article. I'm in California. I see an article about Jim McGreevey, former governor of New Jersey, where I had been extradited from. He was doing a documentary with the late Michael K. Williams, that actor from The Wire, who there's a mural of him on our Newark building. They were doing a documentary, and it mentioned his nonprofit, New Jersey Reentry Corporation. And I'm like, I'm literally going back to New Jersey. How am I seeing this article here? I get it. I get it.
Wow.
I know what you want me to do. So I came back to New Jersey. I found New Jersey Reentry Corporation. When you get released from jail, you usually write down all the things you have to do. I've been released twice, so I know anybody that's been locked up, they know. I still have the manila envelope that has on it, 1, get COVID test. Seriously, I was locked up and COVID started while I was in there. That's a whole other TED Talk, right? But the second thing on that list, find an ARC. And I did, and here I am. So, now you want to know what changes we could make. There's a bunch. One, expungement needs to be more accessible. And I actually think that New Jersey has done a pretty good job of that. It could be better. But in California, it's nonsense. I have spent tens of thousands of dollars on my own expungement, and it's only 1/3 done. But it is 1/3 done. So I still have 2/3 left to be done. I think that certain crimes need to be expunged automatically. Low-level felonies, right? Mine were completely non-violent. They were stupid check fraud nonsense. But at some point, those should just evaporate. Another thing, identification. When I was released from jail, I didn't have my ID.
Right.
I didn't have my driver's license. I didn't have my birth certificate. I had to figure all that crap out. But here at New Jersey Reentry, we do it for you. But the reason we have to do it for you is because the state isn't doing it.
Amen.
There is a law that says the DOC must provide you with a social security card, a birth certificate, and ID when you're released. But they don't. So we do. So we need to be better about that. Because if people have ID, if people have their credentials, jobs are easier, housing is easier, everything is easier. So, sorry for bragging, but it's important to understand my whole deal. Because I literally did a whole thing. But I'm glad I did because now I get to help people here. So.
Amen.
Now we see why he is a TED Talk.
By the way, the title of the book when it comes out is Iron Bars to Iron Man.
All right, we're going to remember that. And what a testimony. I mean, I don't know if we sat you next to the pastor, because that was such an amazing testimony of resilience, survival, never giving up, and then flying with success.